and welcome to another one of Dion's travels. In today's video, I want to talk about cost of living in Bangkok, Thailand. Let's talk about visas. So it used to be a long time ago, you can get 90-day visa on arrival. Then it got changed to 60 days. And now currently it stands at 30 days. This is for American citizens. And I think across the board it'll be the same for, other countries who used to have the same deal, but now it's down to 30 days. Now, a better deal, if you want to stay longer than that, is go to a Thai embassy near you and apply for a 60-day visa. So with a 60-day visa, it's extendable. And when you go to an immigration bureau, the 60-day visa, you get a special line, a lot shorter, in and out within less than an hour. Now the landing visa, people who are trying to extend their visas at the immigration bureau, their line, to give you an idea, is you can come in at 10 a.m. and then have to wait until 7 to 10 p.m. at night before they get to your number. Time is money, friend. I highly recommend getting a visa ahead of time. All right, so the most key thing whenever you go to a new country is housing, cost of housing. Because hotels can get really expensive, Airbnbs, so many people come in and out, and Airbnb might not be as well cleaned as a hotel room. What I prefer doing for Bangkok is, going out, looking for an apartment, and this way I can get a good deal, I can get, a good amount of space, and I can find what I'm looking for. So what you can expect to pay in terms of rents is anywhere between $300 US and up. The reason why I say up is because there's people who you can spend $400, you can spend $800, you can spend $1,200, you can spend $1,600. Sky's the limit. It just depends on what you're looking for and, what kind of scheme the person renting it out is trying to do. Because on average you can get a room for say $300, $350, with or without utilities. Let me show you the latest room that I got. Now this latest room, located right next to an MRT line, located right near these the two top shopping malls. Location is not too bad. Only problem is from the MRT to the place you gotta take a scooter. You can take a motorbike or you can rent a scooter. And so what you can expect to get for $300, you can get a 1-bedroom apartment, 2 air conditioner units inside, your own bathroom, an area for a kitchen, and that's about it. If you spend a little bit more, say like $450 a month, what you can expect to get for $450 a month, from between $450 to $500 a month, is a place with a full stock kitchen, amenities like a pool, maybe a hot tub, and then location might be a bit better. This one is located right in the Onut area. So Onut BTS station, it's like 5-minute walk from the station. The nice thing about it is that there's a Tesco Lotus across the street, and then if you walk up the road a bit, you get to a Big C, and then across the street from the Big C is a wet market. So you can buy a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables for super cheap. Location is so important, especially in a city like Bangkok, because if you go out too far, then it's going to be a real pain to try to get to anywhere you want to go to. It'll take so long to get to it, and it'll just be exhausting just taking public transportation or getting stuck in traffic in a taxi. So location is very critical. I recommend staying close to either BTS or MRT station. This way you can get around the city without too much hassle. This next section is going to talk about cost of food. So there's going to be a difference in pricing from street food versus mall food versus ordering delivery from one of the food apps. There's a lot of different food apps you can use, there's Grab Food, there's Food Panda. There's also Wongnai, but I'm not too sure how to use Wongnai. I never used that app to order food, so I'm not going to be talking about that. Alright, so street food is going to be obviously the cheapest. You can get a lot of different options depending where you live. If you live next to a night market, then there'll be a different range of foods that you can get. Super cheap. The next thing is mall food. Mall food is going to be a bit more expensive. You can expect to pay maybe about 3 to 4 times more eating at the mall compared to street food. So as for pricing, street food, you can get a whole plate of food, say rice, meat, vegetables, and sometimes soup on the side, and that'll run you about under 100 baht. So maybe 60, 80 baht. So between 60 and 100 baht. That's like about $3 US. And then if you go eat at the mall, that can run you up to 200 baht and more. So, double or triple the cost. And then food delivery. Food delivery, depending on where you get it, some places are cheaper than others. And then food delivery, the prices could be almost comparable to mall food. So I would say food delivery falls in between the realm of, especially if you use those food apps, the popular ones, the pricing will fall in between night market street food and mall food. The pricing would be like in between. So you can expect to pay sometimes more than 100 baht, and then you can sometimes less than 200 baht. So within that range. So between $3 to $6 for food delivery, including delivery costs. And so if you're on a budget, you want to find a accommodation that's near like a night market, so that way you can go to night market, every day and get some cheap food. And usually night markets are open for lunch also, so you don't have to worry about that. But for breakfast, that's always a different case because, if you're American or from a westernized country, like from Europe, like England, whatever, you're going to want a proper either American or English breakfast, right? And so, night market's not going to have English breakfast. You're going to have to go to like a bar or the malls. The malls don't really, some malls have English breakfast, but usually bars, have bar food and English breakfast. Yeah, lunch, dinner, you're covered with night markets if you live close to one. And then the next step above that, in terms of like mall food, the cheapest option for mall food would be like if the mall has a Tesco Lotus. Tesco Lotus is a supermarket chain, and they usually have a food court. And then the food court there, the food's pretty cheap. It's going to be cheaper than standard mall food, and it's going to be maybe a little bit more expensive than night market food. And so that's a good alternative, like in between, is Tesco Lotus food courts. And in fact, those are one of my favorite places to get food because it's super convenient and it's relatively clean. So that's it for the food costs. Transportation costs. So if you live next to a BTS station, if you live next to an MRT station, the costs, to get to ride on the train, it varies. It's tiered, so it's by distance. So depending how far you go, the price will increase. So like the standard fare would be about 30 baht, which is like $1. Actually, I'm wondering if I actually seen cheaper, like 20 baht. But on average, it's about $1. For a ride. It depends. It's tiered. It's like confusing sometimes. Every place has, the map will tell you the pricing, but the pricing is different based on where you're located, where you're positioned. So average ride will cost you maybe about, $2 or $3, depending on how far you go. It can get quite expensive, and it adds up. If you buy, if you buy a card like the Rabbit card, which is good for only the BTS, because the MRT system, the underground train system, has a different card, and you prepay ahead of time, you can save a little bit of money. But those it all adds up. And then the next alternative is like taking Grab. There's Grab Taxi, and then there's Grab Bike. Grab Bike is going to be a lot cheaper, and usually the bike taxi people, you can negotiate a little bit. Try to get a more economical rate if you think they're trying to charge you too much. And then there's a lot of taxi line places for motorbikes. So it's usually a group of people, and then they have a price list on the wall. So they can't really, tell you a price that's really not listed on the wall. So you don't have to worry about, getting ripped off there. And then getting around Bangkok, by motorbike, I feel like some drivers drive way too fast, especially with like the way people drive in Bangkok, because Bangkok has some of the highest fatalities in the world in terms of motor accidents. So that's something to keep in mind. But then the problem is if you take like a regular taxi car, you can get stuck in traffic for hours just to get like 1 mile. I remember 1 mile took me like more than 45 minutes. So I was on my laptop on a Skype meeting for 45 minutes. And then just as I finished, we got to the place within 10 minutes later afterwards. And it was only like 1 mile distance. So that, the traffic can be crazy. which is why motorbikes are the best way to get around because motorbikes don't get stuck in traffic. But yeah, oh, and then motorbikes, how much can they cost? Usually like between $1 to $2, roughly. And average ride could probably cost about, let me see, yeah, like under $2. So it's relatively cheap. Getting around by motorbike is not too expensive. Only problem is like, a lot of air pollution, and then, the risk of dying. Co-working spaces. Now the thing that's kind of odd is like in Bangkok, a lot of places like the Wi-Fi is super slow. I don't know why. There's a solution to this. If you get an AIS super Wi-Fi card, then you can log into any Wi-Fi, like public Wi-Fi that they have, like in any mall, and you can get super fast Wi-Fi. That's one of the solutions around it, because a lot of places like say Starbucks, the Wi-Fi is super slow, and sometimes it's just there's too many people and it's all clogged up because the upload speed is way too slow, and then everyone's trying to access different sites, and it's just choking the internet because upload speed is super slow and you can't download anything or even open any websites or stream any video. There's a few co-working spaces. There's very few 24-hour ones. A lot of the ones that I've been to are usually open, they open early, but then they close kind of early. So an example would be there's this co-working space. It's pretty much like a cafe near my house. They open early, but then they close at around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. But they have super fast Wi-Fi. When I tested it, they had about 70 megabits upload and then 20 megabits download, which is decent enough because most of the time I'm uploading stuff for work. So that was good. And then another place that I went to was the big co-working place. So this place, to get in, a day pass is about say 150 baht, between 150 200 baht. So it's about $4.50 to $6 around there. But they had super fast Wi-Fi. Upload speed was over 150 megabits, and download was in the 100 megabit range. So it was super fast, and they have nice clean tables, open space, and it's relatively quiet. Only downside is location kind of sucks. There's not really that much food around it. There's a gym next door. It's kind of remote, so like I said, there's only a cafe nearby, and the food options are limited there. But it has super fast Wi-Fi, and it's nice to get work done. However, they close at 9 p.m., which is super early. Because sometimes I work until midnight, and so the 9 p.m. comes and we're closing, you got to go home now. I'm I haven't finished yet, And then the shopping malls. There's some shopping malls nearby it, they close around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Plaza at McDonald's closes at 10 p.m. So I can, if I go to McDonald's, then, I can, work there until 10 p.m., right? So I fill in that 1 hour gap. And then there's some other there's one 24-hour co-working space. I didn't go there. My friend told me about it. It's right next to a university. So I don't know if it's going to be super loud or not, but they're open 24 hours. The place that I rented, that I was living, the Wi-Fi was super slow, and it kept cutting in and out, and had to keep logging into the Wi-Fi. That was super annoying. If you need to stream, if you have a job where you need to do video streaming, and it's critical, I would recommend bring your own Wi-Fi. Purchase your own service, and then you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. All right, let's talk about gym costs. So you have options. You can work at home and get one of these home kits, right? With the bands. So if you travel with let me see, it's kind of hard to see. If you travel with these workout bands, right, you don't have to pay jack for a gym membership. If you want to save money, this is what you get. You get one of these resistance band sets. This one that I got, I paid $15 for it, and it goes up to 100 pounds, in resistance. So it has a door stopper, and you can get a really good workout. And then for cardio, just bring a jump rope, or go running or jogging around, the block. But yeah, that's the most budget option for, your gym, for your workout. However, if you want to join a more traditional gym, the thing about it is if you join for short term, it's a lot more expensive. than if you join for long term. Now, the average cost you can expect to pay, I want to say, is between $40 to $60 for a gym membership in Bangkok per month. And $40 is like, like on the cheap end. Like, you're not going to get anything super nice. And then $50 you get something decent, with air conditioning. And then, yeah, for $40 or less, you might not even get any air conditioning. Just be in like a, in a warehouse with like maybe like a fan if you're lucky. And then, $50 and up, you get something more nicer. But a lot of places, they want you to sign contracts and stuff. But you can find places that you don't have to sign contracts, but you'll end up paying like $50 a month, which is not cheap, like especially for US standards, not cheap at all. However, if you want to get a workout in, these are the prices you pay. Let's see. Where is this place next to? Kind of near Fraram 9 MRT. So they got this whole downstairs area here. And then in the other room is the air conditioning room for all the people who can't take the heat out here. And then upstairs there's more stuff. A whole nother room of weights and benches and machines. Alright, and then there's a lot of first time costs. If you rent a place that has no bedding, no sheets, you gotta go buy sheets, pillows, blankets, everything. And then if you move into a place that has no kitchen, like has a space for a kitchen but no utensils, nothing like that, no cooker, you gotta go out buy all that stuff. You gotta accommodate all those costs. Now, if you want to get a good bedding set, that's not gonna come cheap. You gotta expect to drop at least $100, for pillows, blankets, and bed sheet. If you want to go budget, you can probably budget for like maybe, I don't know, say like $60 at the most, for like some decent stuff. If you want even more budget, maybe $45. But yeah, bedding's not cheap unless you just go like one pillow and then one sheet, and then maybe like a thin blanket. You can get away for like $20. And then kitchen stuff, that's not cheap. You gotta buy a cooker. Usually most places, they want you to just get like an induction cooker. So an induction cooker can be like, $30 and up. And you gotta buy, pots and pans, which is like average price, maybe about $15 up for, each one. And then you gotta buy utensils, which, it's not too cheap, but everything adds up. And plates, stuff like that. All right, entertainment. Now, I'm not a big bar guy. However, I do like my karaoke. So from time to time, I'll go with some friends to some karaoke bars. And so since I don't drink alcohol anymore, because I've developed allergies recently, the last few years, it's super cheap for me to go. Because all I buy is just like, soft drinks or tea or whatever. And then, it comes out pretty cheap. Like for me, maybe $3 to $6, for a few hours of like, karaoke bar with some friends. And then, what my friends usually pay is usually anywhere between $30 to $40, for their drinks in total. Expect to pay anywhere between $30 to say $50, $60, in drinks. In Vegas, one drink is like what, $20. A can of beer is like $20. In Bangkok, I don't know. I'm not really much of a partier. I'm not a clubber, so who knows, man. Sky's the limit. Prices are going to be a lot cheaper compared to any westernized country, and so it just depends what you want to do, where you want to go, how long you're going to stay, and how much you want to spend. That covers all the expenses. That's the cost of living in Bangkok. Hope it was insightful to you. Hope you got an idea of what to expect, how much you should save up for, and what things are going to cost. So as a rule of thumb, I recommend whatever you have budgeted, if you counted everything that I told you, multiply that by say ×3, ×4, so this would be your safety net. Then when you come here, you're probably going to spend a little bit more, but since you have that safety net, you'll be able to stay longer because you planned ahead of time. I've been to Thailand, a bunch of times already. Lived there for, almost 2 years actually, on and off. These are my experiences living in Bangkok. and what you can expect to pay. I learned basic Thai just so I can, when I go to night markets, I can order food in Thai, because it just makes my life easier. And then they tell me the price in Thai, and then, you know, it's just easy, just pay, and then that's it. Don't have to go like a fool. Or I just point at stuff, right? Be like, I want this, that. How much? It's all right. Until next time, peace.